a travel guide for visiting Oak Glen, California, an apple town just 80 miles east of downtown Los Angeles. In this video, I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know to come to Oak Glen and pick apples. But actually, this is a great town for more than just apple season, but I'm shooting it during apple season, so there's gonna be a lot of apples in this video. So Oak Glen has a population of just about 600 people. It's a pretty small town. In apple picking season, there's often more visitors here than there are actually residents of Oak Glen. But why is Oak Glen great to come in the months of September, October, even the summer? Because it's often much cooler here in Oak Glen than it is in the rest of Los Angeles, often 15 degrees cooler up here in the mountains. And if you come here in the winter, it snows. In a little bit, I'll show you the best place to come to see the snow in Oak Glen as we proceed through this video. Oak Glen has a lot of different apple picking places. The best times to come, Labor Day through the end of November for apple picking season. But if there's a particular type of variety you want to pick, make sure you check out the particular apple farm's website to see if they're doing you pick for those, because some varieties bloom earlier and some bloom later. Some here bloom, ripen. Some here, they're already on the ground. You don't want to eat those. So one of our favorite farms to visit in Oak Glen is the Willowbrook farm. What's great about Willowbrook? Well, they have this like pressed apple cider, and you can press apple cider a lot of places in Oak Glen, but we find this is some of the tastiest. How it works, you pay inside and you pick like a small bottle or a big bottle. You pick up these apples right here, you get them in a bucket, and then right there in those presses, you actually press the apple cider yourselves. We did that last time we were here, so this time what did we get? We got a caramel apple. They slice this apple for you. It's fresh, hot caramel. Not like the caramel you get at, you know, at the supermarket or at Disneyland where it's like cold. This caramel is hot and these apples are fresh. I love the combination of the kind of saltiness of the caramel and the sourness of the apple. And it's totally messy too. All right, so after finishing our caramel apple, I ran into the owners of this farm, Ethan and Ashley. And so Ethan, what makes your apple cider so tasty?
I would say the reason our apple cider is so tasty is we incorporate our own apples. They're a Stamen wine sap variety, so they give it that real sweet flavor.
Yeah, that's very cool. And Ashley, what do you think is the best time for people to come and visit this area?
You know, the busiest time is in October because all of the apples are going to be ripe by then. But we always open on Labor Day weekend for our apple cider press, and we always have our caramel apples going, and we'll go to mid-November. We'll still have apples all the way till then, so it's still good to come.
All right, and like if people want to pick apples here, how does that work?
So we do it by the pound. It's $3 per pound. You pick a bag that you want. We have a 3, 5, 7, and 10 pound bag, and we'll give you a little introduction to our farm. That our orchard was planted in 1910. We'll tell you a little bit about our trees, and then you are free to roam the orchard and pick what you want.
All right. And Ethan, if you get lunch around here, what's your favorite thing to eat for lunch in this area?
Well, obviously our tasty meatballs that we have here.
All right.
And finished off with a nice caramel covered apple.
Good deal.
That you got earlier.
All right. Yep. Sounds good. Well, Ethan, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
Ashley, thank you very much.
You guys come back anytime.
Yeah, we will do so. And you all, when you come up here, make sure to check out Willowbrook Farm. Yep. Find Ethan and Ashley. Say hey.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
If you like animals, after you're done picking apples, stop by and check out the donkeys. But please, no apples for the donkeys. They're watching their weight. For a neat colonial themed farm, visit Riley's farm right here. It's all colonial themed, looks like 1800 British England right here. They've got lots of activities. You can watch blacksmithing, you can shoot arrows, you can even throw a tomahawk. And what I think is pretty neat is the staff that's around here, they wear like old British outfits and speak in old British English. If you are hungry, there's a great option. There's this building right here. It's the Hawks Head Public House. First come, first serve, but it's a whole British themed restaurant. And just outside of it, if you want to get like apple pies and pastries, you can pick those up as well. From the bakery window, you can also order lunch items too. And what's more British than a chicken pot pie? In the apples, you'll also find you pick strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, pears, and lots of other fruit, seasonal, different times of the year. Okay, but what if you're lazy and you don't want to pick your own apples? The good news, you'll find lots of these places bagging them just for you. But if you've been looking at these apples on the trees and you look at them in here, you'll notice these are a lot smaller than apples you'll see in the stores. Well, that's special about many of the varieties in here. That's just how they grow. They grow that small. But just because they're small doesn't mean they aren't tasty. They are. It's pretty easy to find all these apple farms because they're on one road. This road, it's Oak Glen Road. It's basically a 5-mile circular road. You start at one end and you end at the other end. I will point out though, if you like to navigate using Google Maps or something like that, the cell phone service up here is completely lousy. So it's good to maybe actually print out a map so you know where the things that you're at are, because if you're relying on this, chances are it's not going to work. Also, don't rely on your phone to communicate with people up here, because you'll be sad when you'll try to have to figure out how to use like smoke signals or something. Oh, it's video time. Hey guys, so one thing I love about Oak Glen is I love just the rustic vibe of it. A lot of the shops like this, they're rustic, they have this old country feel. It is touristy, but not overly touristy. But speaking of maps, they have these pamphlets all around Oak Glen. If you see one, I'd highly recommend you pick it up related to the map thing, because it actually has a map in it so that you can find your way around when your Google Maps isn't working. If you're looking to do some shopping, Oak Glen's shopping mall is right here. It's called Oak Tree Village, though it looks like it's under renovation. It might be changing names, but you can always find it because it has this mega restaurant right behind me, Apple Annie's. If you're looking for a full meal in Oak Glen, the biggest restaurant is Apple Annie's. They have these big hearty meals. They are famous for like unlimited seconds. You order something and they'll keep feeding you until you're full. But the thing to get at Apple Annie's might actually not be the food. I mean, the food's good and there's a big outdoor eating area, but really you come to Apple Annie's for the apple pastries. In particular, the 5-pound mile-high apple pie. Why is it mile high? This town, Oak Glen, has an elevation of about 5,000 feet. And so these apple pies that you get here, they're mile-high apple pies because they were baked in a bakery that's about a mile high. But I will tell you, those are really good apple pies. Some of my favorite apple pies I've had anywhere. You can get the whole pies, you can get them by the slice, and a whole bunch of other pastries too. And then walk around, check out this little shopping center for lots of knickknacks and more petting zoos. And it's just, you know, it might be a fun place if you do want to eat here on a weekend to start your journey. But get to Apple Annie's before 11 a.m. if you're coming on a busy weekend, because the waits can be very long. Because the food options are not a lot of them in Oak Glen. You'll find a lot of these shops, like the Village Candy Kitchen, offer samples of many of their items. And here you can get samples of salsas, jams, spreads, lots of jams and spreads. Which one's your favorite? Come here and find out. I think one of the most interesting shops in here is the Twist and Sprout plant stand shop. This stand has all sorts of really interesting plant stands made out of actual natural wood. I mean, this is like art for your backyard garden. You can see they've got a lot of new things coming soon here, including glamping, wine tasting, and a tree house. And they also just finished building a new trampoline park for the kiddos. And sometimes people say, Chris, do you really like this stuff? Is this sponsored? People must have paid you to do this and go to these places. None of this is sponsored. And this is the 5-pound apple pie that I said you must get when you come here. I got it too. In case you're wondering, it's $20. And it's delicious, and it's heavy. 5 pounds of pie. That's a lot of pie. See you. I gotta go eat my pie. So we're at Snowline Orchards, and this is the best place to come if you're looking for snow. This is often the snow line. Sometimes you'll see it as low as Apple Annie's, but Chris, there's no snow in September. There's no snow in September, but it's hot. So what do they have here? They have apple cider floats, vanilla ice cream, apple cider, straw. It's pretty good. I love the combination of the apple cider and the ice cream, and it's not something you see a lot in the rest of the world. You'll see it a lot here in Oak Glen, but I think this is just kind of a neat particular orchard to come to because it has this kind of old barn rustic feel to it. They also sell apple cider mini donuts that taste just like any other donut. They'll sell slices of pie too. A regular slice of pie, $6. And so if you didn't believe me that Apple Annie's $20, that whole pie was a good deal. If you come and buy this one for $6, then you really will. Oh, this one does not do any you pick, but that you can buy the apples, the cider, and all these other things at this one. Oh, live music on popular weekends as well. And you know, I know that like Coke floats and root beer floats are like things everywhere. I don't know why this isn't more of a thing, because I would actually take this over a Coke float or root beer float any day. And when you're done with all the ice cream and all you've got left is this, it's kind of like, it's kind of like the best part, because it's kind of like when you eat your cereal, you know, and then you've just got that like cereal sweetened milk. This is like apple cider sweetened with ice cream. If you prefer your cider without the ice cream, you can buy it right here in bottles. The pints are $3.75, the half gallons are $9, and you can get the full gallons for $15. Comes in a few flavors: apple, cherry, and raspberry apple cider. And if you want to try before you buy, they've actually got samples of all 3 of their ciders off on the side. Although they don't have You Pick apples, they do have You Pick raspberries. So the mega apple ranch in Oak Glen is Los Rios Rancho. This is the biggest apple farm in this community. It was originally established in the early 1900s, around 1906. In its heyday, it supplied apples, pears, and flowers to the LA markets, and even shipped fruit as far away as Great Britain. It's really neat because they have a lot of different special events here, depending upon the time of the year. They have a little cafe and barbecue. You can buy all sorts of apple baked goods and smoked meats right outside. And the shop inside has a lot of foods and snacks in there as well. And this is where we like to buy our apple cider when we're lazy and we don't want to press it ourselves. Every time we come up here, we generally buy a few gallons of this apple cider. And if you live in Southern California and you're going back home, our tip to you: buy 1 bottle to drink right now, buy a 2nd bottle to freeze and drink later. And just up the hill to eat your apple snacks and barbecue, they've got picnic tables and a neat grassy area. Bring your blanket. They've got a lot of different apples here, and if you wonder what they taste like, you don't have to buy the whole apple. They've actually got samples where you can sample the apple. This one is actually pear. So after you've sampled the apples and figure out what you want, you can come inside and pick the variety. They come in 3 pounds, 8 pounds, 1/5 of a bushel, a half bushel, or a bushel. How much is a bushel? A bushel is 20 pounds for about 20 bucks. To apples. In addition to apples, they have a large selection of jams, jellies, and syrups. So I love the apple cider, and they've got shopping carts because they know people are going to buy a lot. So it comes in 2 different kinds of bottles. It comes in these bottles, which are plastic. They're $14.50 for a gallon. And then it comes with these glass ones. These are $15.50. They're an extra $1. If you're just gonna keep it in the fridge, I like the glass ones because they seal a bit tighter. If you're gonna put it in the freezer, be careful with these because they break when you freeze them. So for the freezer, get the plastic ones. All right, 4 gallons? Do you think that's enough? Well, if you care to join me for some apple cider, I'll see you back at home. And if you don't believe me about that apple cider and you don't want to buy a whole gallon, well, you can try before you buy here too. They've got samples of it in these little cups. So worth it though. So my other pro tip if you're gonna buy this apple juice is bring a cooler. It is sold cold because it is not pasteurized. So this will not last long warm. You need to keep it cold. It takes 17 pounds of apples at least to make each one of these. And why do I like this so much? It tastes so fresh. It tastes frankly just like you're drinking an apple. You come here, you'll be hooked. If you like hiking or even nature walking at the Los Rios Rancho, they have this really neat wildlife conservatory. The trailhead starts right here. It's about an hour walk if you do the full loop, but it'll go by apple trees, it'll go by lakes. I think one of the best times to come here is in the fall season when the leaves change color. It's really quite beautiful. I think this is one of the neatest kind of like short nature walks in Southern California. And best of all, admission is free. For those of you who watch my channel a lot, you'll know that I do a lot of videos on Japan, and one of the things I really like about this town in California is it feels a lot like a Japanese small mountain town. And what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is it has a singular theme. Everybody does that theme really well, and it's set up really for tourists, and you can do everything in a small area. Everything here is about apples. Japan has a lot of towns that are just focused on melons, or they're just focused on sunflowers, and so this is totally a great way to come and spend the day. By the way, if you want to know more about what I mean about a melon town or a sunflower town, you can click right here to watch those videos. Or if you're more interested in Los Angeles, well, you'll find links in the description below to more Los Angeles videos. And as usual, I won't say goodbye because I'll see you in Melon Town or Sunflower Town.